Today I'm going to do something very unusual. I'm going to repeat a speech I gave in the Parliament on the 9th of November 2022. For some reason, YouTube removed my parliamentary speech for, wait for it, violating their community guidelines. So here I am today, nearly 2 years later, delivering the same speech. I wonder if it will be removed again. Have a listen and you tell me if there's anything hurtful or offensive that warrants this speech being removed by YouTube. I've never hidden the fact that I seek advice about my health and well-being from a number of different health practitioners. One of these people, an associate professor, contacted me last week regarding the increase in excess deaths recorded in Australia and around the world over the past 12 to 18 months. The associate professor pleaded with me to share these concerns in the Parliament. So in the associate professor's words, he said, "I'm very concerned that there's no real investigation into the cause of these excess deaths. One must consider all possibilities for the cause of the excess deaths, and surely that includes looking at what changes have occurred over the past 2 to 3 years that might be have causative factors. These include the coronavirus itself and the implementation of experimental gene technologies. The latter must surely be a suspect as a causative agent given the lack of safety data when these jabs were implemented and the high number of deaths and adverse events lodged on the TGA adverse events reporting system. More and more information is coming out about the lack of safety data of this treatment prior to it being pushed on the population worldwide. We know adverse events are seriously underreported in government reporting systems. Anecdotally, we know of the pressure applied to doctors and nurses here in Australia not to speak out against the narrative. I'm disturbed that there is no mention in the mainstream media of the possibility that these jabs could be a causative agent. As in medicine and in public health, one must be open to all possibilities, particularly when the time, course of events and timing of adverse outcomes raises red flags. What appears to be missing is an open and frank scientific analysis to determine the most likely cause of excess deaths in Australia, one that considers the possibility that the experimental gene technologies have contributed. The TGA, in my opinion, is not fit to lead such an inquiry, as it probably needs to be the subject of another independent inquiry into its actions in the last 3 years, especially as it banned the use of the highly effective repurposed medicine ivermectin, resulting in unnecessary hospitalisations and deaths. It is time for the silencing of doctors, nurses and scientists and others with knowledge about health to stop. It's time to investigate whether COVID vaccines have contributed to excess deaths. My medical colleagues, who have been close to the front line of care treatment during the pandemic, are in absolutely no doubt that this vaccine treatment is harming and killing people. 10% of the 17% excess deaths are being put down to unexplained deaths. International groups of medical specialists are attributing most of these excess deaths to the synthetic mRNA gene technologies. This is the proverbial elephant in the room.